Hey folks, it's Lana here. Last week, I guess? Was it our last week? Anyway, I just finished reading Untamed by Glennon Doyle, who is one of the hosts, or I guess the main host in the We Can Do Hard Things podcast, where I initially discovered her. And then a friend of mine had her book and shared it with me, and man, it was so great. I love the way it was structured. It's kind of broken up into short little stories. It's basically, the book is a collection of stories about her life and how she met her partner, Abby, how she, has navigated various things in her life. And anyway, it was inspiring. I really liked her perspectives on a lot of things. Felt like I could relate in a lot of ways. And I wanted to share this one excerpt from the book and just talk about it a little bit. So I'm sharing this quote too because I thought it was funny, because it was in the context of a story that Glennon was sharing about. She found herself getting frustrated with her partner, Abby, when they were just like, she described it as Abby like works hard and rests hard, and Glennon basically doesn't have an off button, and Abby has managed to find theirs. And so Glennon found herself becoming kind of frustrated or getting like this frustrated passive aggressive feeling whenever they saw Abby like just lounging around the house not doing anything. And I was like, oh my god, this is me and Greg. And anyway, she, talks about how she learned to self-soothe and identify that those feelings are based around sort of childhood, like narratives instilled in her about productivity, sort of equating to your worthiness or your value as a human, and respecting Abby for what they needed and not trying to control them. And anyway, so she's on the topic of control and trying to control your partner and releasing control from your partner. And this is the page that I wanted to share. I am beginning to unlearn what I used to believe about control and love. Now I think that maybe control is not love. I think that control might actually be the opposite of love, because control leaves no room for trust. And maybe love without trust is not love at all. I'm like, oh, yes, so good. I'm beginning to play with the idea that love is trusting that other people feel, know, and imagine too. Maybe love is respecting what your people feel, trusting that they know, and believing that they have their own unseen order for their lives pressing through their own skin. Maybe my role with people I love is not imagining the truest, most beautiful life for them and then pushing them toward it. Maybe I'm just supposed to ask what they feel and know and imagine, and then, no matter how different their unseen order is from mine, ask what I can do to support their vision. Trusting people is terrifying. Maybe if love is not a little scary and out of our control, then it is not love at all. It is wild to let others be wild. I really love that last line about it's wild to let others be wild. Because, we're all, I wanted to share this because I think this is a big part of what has allowed my partnership with my husband to work. And why I think most relationships that do work out. Because there's an element of this understanding that we are all raised as different human beings. Even if you were raised in the same household, you probably had different experiences or interpreted things differently. And so naturally you and your partner are going to have different perspectives on how to go about things in life. You're going to want different things for yourselves, and I think you should, because you are different individual human beings. And one cannot be so arrogant to think that your way is the best way and that you know what's best for your partner. Yeah, I might want to go jump on the trampoline. Doesn't mean I'm going to force my husband to jump on the trampoline too. No, he doesn't like jumping on the trampoline. I don't know. It's just, it feels like common sense and it feels basic, but I think especially when your life is entangled with somebody in a romantic relationship or even with family. Like, it's hard to watch people do things that you think might end up getting them hurt. It can be hard to watch somebody sort of flounder and be just figuring things out. I'm such a fixer. I want to help people, and that is a great part of who I am. But sometimes I think it can come from a bit of a condescending space of, why can't you see the answer or the solution? I think I know it, and I want to help you. And, but that's, yeah, you have to come to things on your own. And that is something I have valued so much about Greg and our whole relationship, because he has always let me come to my own conclusions and figure out what I want and then act on them of my own volition. Case in point, him liking me for several years and waiting for me to come around to the fact that I was in love with him. Yeah, and so naturally I need to afford him the same respect. And yeah, trust is terrifying. It's putting faith in somebody else, or that things will work itself out. And for people who are a fan of control and maybe have more of an anxious disposition, that can be tough. And you could be the sort of letting others be wild and trusting them. It doesn't even have to be on an more extreme level. You can see this trust playing out in folks in open relationships, for example, letting your partner go out and connect with other humans and having trust and faith that they'll come back to you and continue to see the value in your partnership. But of course, that can extend to all kinds of relationships. Can be trusting that your friends will continue to make you a priority, or that your partner can have friendships with the opposite sex, or trusting that your partner will continue to choose you day in, day out, and you're building a life together. Or, I don't know, if a opportunity comes up that requires your partner to move to another country or continent for a job, you might have to become long distance, or I don't know, and trust that it'll work out. There's so many scenarios where life can throw a wrench in the plans of your controlled vision for the future. And then also, people are uncontrolled variables. We're always changing. And I think I saw a quote a while back too, but about how I think true love is loving people where they're at, but not loving them for their potential. Sometimes people can fall into the trap of wanting to mold somebody into their perfect person, and I think it's really about, I don't know, just wanting someone to see them happy, to see them grow, no matter what that requires and may be. To just be happy and grateful to be a part of their journey, and maybe be that person that can ask them good questions and prompt reflection on their part, but you can't do the work for them, and they can't do the work for you. And if that's happening, you're likely codependent and missing out on valuable opportunities to do some inner work yourself. So anyway, I thought this might be useful. This portion of the book kind of resonated with some of the things that I like to remind myself and think about and value in my relationship, and also some of the things that I struggle with. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are, and see you in the next one.